Hello everyone, this is Madhusudan Raj, your host. Today is 21st May 2015. Well, after a long period of time, I am again here with my economic report because something important is happening. Uh, the Modi government has announced they have launched new scheme of gold monetization. So I just want to discuss about this scheme very quickly into this economic report. What I will do is I have divided my discussion into two parts. First, I will talk about this scheme, what this scheme is all about, and then I will discuss about, I will analyze what the scheme is all about, and I'll discuss a little bit about gold. I think it's quite redundant in a culture like India to discuss what gold is because I'm sure most of the people know what gold is and why gold is important. But in any case, mainstream financial media and the government economists and other state officials are trying to demonize gold and they are trying to portray a different picture. They're trying to hide the facts about gold from the people. They're trying to misguide them basically. So it is my duty to tell people the truth about the gold, the facts about the gold. Although I know that most of the Indian intuitively understand because that knowledge is part of their culture, or what we call in biology, it's in the meme. Anyways, let's talk about this scheme first. So we know that since long the Indian government has waged a war against gold because they say that it increases their import bill. After oil import bill, gold's import is the second highest in the country. First is oil import and the second one is gold, and they say that creates the trade imbalances and that widens the trade deficit and that can put the government into trouble. That of course is a lie, and I don't want to go into the issues of trade deficit and whether those deficits are really significant or are very important, as the government is saying, or dangerous, for example. What I want to say is that they are worried about this gold consumption in India, and that's why they somehow want to stop the import of gold. And for that, they are thinking that somehow if they can tap the domestic gold supplies, if they can recycle the locally, privately held gold into the economy, then that can reduce the import and that can reduce the trade deficit, etc., etc. So, one figure, is saying that there is more than 20,000 tons of gold privately held by the Indians. So, what the government is trying to do is that they try to kind of bring it back into supply. This gold is lying into, bank vaults and people's home and in the temple, treasuries, etc. places. So they think that that gold which is lying idle is not good for the economy, which is not true. That gold is not lying idle over there, as we will see that gold which is lying in people's houses and bank vaults and in temple treasuries has an important role of people are trying to control the uncertain future by holding gold into their hands. So it is not idle. It is not like it has no function. That gold which you are holding in your hand right now, it has a definite function of having some kind of control over the future uncertainties which the government itself is creating. Government and the central bank itself is creating through their lunatic loose monetary policy, as well as fiscal extravagant fiscal policies, spending a lot of money, and that is creating inflation and structural imbalances. And amidst all these uncertainties, people are trying to secure their future by keeping gold into their hand. Anyway, so as I said, the government is thinking that if somehow they can bring that into the market again. So for that, they have launched this gold monetization scheme. Uh, so I'm just going to read from this Reuters news. A proposal in India to attract thousands of tons of gold owned by household into the bank deposit scheme. Right. So what is government is trying to do is that the scheme is like it's I think it's around 30 gram or 3 gram up to 30 gram, I think you can put in the bank as a deposit, and the bank is supposedly going to pay you interest rate on this gold deposits, which you're going to have with your bank. Right now, what interest rate they are going to pay you, we don't know. I think the numbers which are coming up, like for example in this news, they're saying that they are likely to pay you the interest rate of something like 2 to 3% per annum, which is absolutely ridiculous, right? Even savings accounts, will give you 4% of interest rate. So they are going to pay you 2-3% of interest rate if you deposit, let's say, 30 gram of your gold in bank. The most important thing is, and what is going to happen with that gold later on. That is the most important thing for you and me to understand, because once you put your gold in the bank, what is going to happen? What is going to happen is this, and this is in their own words. So banks would be allowed to treat the deposit as part of the reserve. So once you put your gold in the bank, it becomes their property. Okay, so you lose the property title of your gold. It is their reserve, boosting their balance sheet. So it boosts their balance sheet. And now what happens is very important and dangerous. The reason why you should not be putting your gold in the banks. You should not be participating into this scheme. In turn, the metal would be refined and sold to meet demand in the world's top consumer, reducing the country's need for imports. So what is going to happen is that when you take your gold and put that gold in the bank, now bank will treat that as it's their reserves, their deposit, their property. They will melt it, refine it, and then sell it into the market. So basically your gold is gone, right? Now imagine if they're going to sell your gold to somebody else, and definitely that gold is not coming back. Now suppose you want your gold back, you go to the bank and you ask, to give your gold back. They'll have no gold in their vaults because they've refined it, melted it, and they've, sold it to somebody else. So you're gonna lose the property of you're gonna lose your gold basically, right? So this scheme is basically not a scheme, it's a scam, right? They are saying that they want to recycle it, but they're not going to recycle. They're going to sell it to somebody else, and then the gold is gone forever. It's not going to come in your hand. The most important thing, what they're saying is that you put your gold in the bank and they'll pay you cash, interest rate on that. Now that defeats the whole idea. The whole idea is very stupid. See, the reason is, let's discuss. As I said, my first part is over. That the scheme is all about this. They're gonna take your gold and sell it to somebody else. So that's it. So you're gonna lose the property of your gold. The second part is, what is gold, right? They are saying that just an asset and one, kind of people use it for ornament and this and that. But all that is smoke and mirror. Gold is nothing but money, right? Gold, has played the commodity. It's a commodity money. It has played the role of money in human culture since last 6,000 years. And if you see the history of gold, like 6,000 years recorded history, then these three metals, what we call precious metals, two are precious metal, another one is industrial metal. They have mostly worked, function as money. Money is nothing but a common medium of exchange, which basically, solves the problem of barter system, double coincidence of want and indivisibility problem. So precious metals, gold and silver, and as I said, the industrial metal copper. This is what human beings have, whenever they were allowed to freely choose, they have always chose gold, silver, and copper as money, as a common medium of exchange. So gold is, remember, it's not a financial asset. It's not an investment vehicle. It's money, right? So right now, that means the whole idea of monetizing gold is, I think, it's stupid, right? Gold itself is money, so how we are going to monetize gold? The only way in which right now we are going to monetize gold is by officially declaring gold as money. That means going back to the pure gold standard with 100% reserve banking. So if you do that, then that's real monetization of money. Means bringing the role of gold as money back again in the system. Right now, they are putting taxes and everything on gold, and they have outlawed, they have legal tender laws, and that's the reason why people, use the paper currency. The paper note, rupee, is not money; it's just a currency. Once upon a time, that currency note was backed by solid, unit weight of silver or gold. In India, it was a silver standard, so the currency note was basically backed by unit weight of silver. So it was just the name of that underlying unit weight of gold or silver. So they have removed the gold and silver content from the backing, and only the paper note is now circulates as money. It's not money; it's currency. So basically, to see the reason why people are buying gold is because they are worrying about the devaluing rupee. They're worrying about the reducing purchasing power of rupee day by day, inflation. Okay, so that's the reason why they're buying gold, because gold is going to track inflation. It's going to keep your purchasing power pretty much stable for a very long period of time. As I said, it's a 6,000-year-old history. Gold will keep your purchasing power stable and safe. So that's the reason why people are buying gold. They are parting away with their paper currency notes, and in exchange of that, they are buying gold because they know that gold is going to safeguard their future. Suppose there is a currency crisis, suppose the monetary system is going to collapse, then during those dangerous times, gold will be the only last resort. Gold is working as an insurance policy. It's not investment, remember. Okay, if you buy gold, then it's going to track inflation, and if you do some kind of study last 10, 15 years, then it's going to give you 12, 13% of real returns also. I'm not talking about that right now. So even if you compare that 12, 13% of real interest return, then these banks are going to give you 2, 3% of interest rate, which is nothing. Inflation is itself running into 10 percent, double digit. So the real rate of return is not going to be there. So even from the investment perspective, it's stupid to put your gold into banks. But as I said, gold itself is money, so the whole idea of monetizing gold is absolutely nonsense. People are buying gold because they don't like to keep cash, currency notes in their hand, because it's losing its purchasing power. So again, why the heck people are going to exchange their precious gold with some kind of cash currency notes again? Doesn't make any sense. It only shows that government is desperate. And remember, gold is also connected with your freedom, right? Gold, it gives you freedom. When you buy gold, it gives you freedom because it's money. You can exchange it for transaction purposes. Nobody will know, nobody can trace. And I'm not saying that you don't want you want to hide your transaction because you're doing something wrong. Not necessarily. Privacy is a good thing in its own right. You don't have to be some criminal to hide something, right? You don't want to tell everybody what you're doing in your bedroom, right? But that doesn't mean that what you're doing in your bedroom is something wrong. It's a privacy matter, right? So the whole idea that government, is basically talking about. So what I'm saying is, if you buy gold, you're also going to, win your freedom, and that is a vote against the government's inflationary policies. So instead of putting their own house, into proper order, and instead of stopping inflating the currency and devaluing the currency, uh, they are trying to attack us. But it shows that gold is very important. It's money. So I think ultimately you should not get fooled by this so-called monetizing gold scheme. Just stay away from any kind of paper promises, which is what currency note is. It's just a promise from the central bank, which they are not fulfilling. Gold is the ultimate money. It's a market chosen money, and that is your insurance policy. Buy it, hold it for a long term. It's gonna safeguard your future. The reason why people buy gold is because they are worried about the future uncertainties, and they want to have some control over that. That's why they're buying gold. So there is no point in again converting your gold into cash. So just stay away from that. That is what is my personal suggestion. And with that note, I'm just going to end this economic report. I will come back with more next time. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.